The scene shifted to a desolate beach where dead cows lay scattered, their blood staining the sand. Lin Tian stood there, deep in thought, contemplating the movements of his enemies. He knew human reinforcements would soon arrive at Bright Town. Facing off against the knights would be manageable, but if the Sword Saintess joined them, their chances of survival would plummet. Lin Tian realized it was time to visit the Purple Gold Dragon. Dragon Island was far, at least 100 kilometers, but summoning a dragon here would be the quickest route. The scent of blood would surely lure one soon enough. And as expected, the flapping of large wings soon echoed in the air. A dragon descended from the sky, drawn to the scent of the dead cows. Lin Tian, hidden among the carcasses, stayed perfectly still as the dragon landed and picked up the bodies, lifting them into the air with powerful claws. The dragon flew towards Dragon Island, with Lin Tian concealed among the dead cows it carried. As the dragon dropped its prey into a deep pit, Lin Tian emerged from the pile, dusting himself off. His prediction had been correct. These dragons weren't hunting for themselves alone. Something else was being fed. But before Lin Tian could go further, a voice reverberated through the cavern. The dragon mother had sensed something amiss. She approached the pile of food, her eyes narrowing as she inspected the scene. Her suspicion was quickly confirmed. There was something unusual here. Then recognition dawned. She remembered Lin Tian. He was the goblin leader who had attacked Bright Town. Her gaze sharpened as she questioned why he had entered her territory and warned him that she could easily devour him. Lin Tian, thinking quickly, explained that he had come to discuss a potential alliance. He reminded the dragon mother of the time he had aided her, appealing to their previous connection. Though skeptical, the dragon mother allowed him to speak. She found it curious that a goblin would propose such a bold plan, but her interest was piqued. Shifting into her humanoid form, she listened as Lin Tian outlined his intentions. He proposed a joint effort to deal with the Sword Saintess, relying on their combined forces to overcome her. The dragon mother roared with incredulity, her voice filled with a mix of disdain and curiosity. "What? You lowly creature, you're actually targeting the Sword Saintess. You've piqued my interest a little," she said, her eyes narrowing as she addressed Lin Tian. She paused briefly before adding, "Tell me, how do you plan to deal with that wretch?" Lin Tian, unfazed by the dragon mother's imposing presence, responded calmly, "It's simple. I just need you to send your dragon soldiers to occasionally harass Bright Town." His plan seemed audacious, yet his tone carried a sense of calculated confidence. The dragon mother eyed him skeptically. "And what about you? What can a bunch of mere goblins do? How dare you target that crazy woman?" Her question lingered, her voice dripping with doubt. "What's your plan?" She pressed further, curious to see how the goblin could possibly deal with someone as formidable as the Sword Saintess. Lin Tian's gaze remained steady. To deal with someone like the Sword Saintess, direct confrontation won't work. We have to attack her mind. Killing her spirit is the best way to defeat her. A deep, rumbling laugh echoed from the dragon mother, clearly impressed by his cunning. "I see. Using the goblins as tools to kill without sacrificing my own forces. Perfectly in line with my desires." Her laughter settled, and she looked down at Lin Tian with newfound respect. "So, shall we consider our deal sealed?" Lin Tian asked, his tone sharp and direct. Naturally, the dragon mother replied with a sly smile, but then her expression shifted, a hint of amusement dancing in her eyes. "But who would have thought that a goblin could be so clever? The more I look at you, the more I like you. How about I give you a little reward?" she added, her voice oozing with both menace and allure. During the breeding season, the female dragons were truly a force to be reckoned with. Lin Tian mused to himself. His thoughts were interrupted by the booming voice of the purple golden dragon mother. "That's right," she sneered. "Your small body is really not worthy of my attention." Pausing for a moment, the dragon mother added, "In that case, I'll give you some other rewards first." She glanced around, considering her options. "Which one should I choose?" she wondered aloud. Back at the Tian Quang tribe where Loder was held captive, we see him tied up to a cross. Time seemed to stretch endlessly for him, and with every passing moment, he wondered why the knights had not yet come to rescue him. His body ached from the strain, and he felt as though he would fall apart if he stayed any longer in his current state. Desperation gripped him as he tried to figure out how to escape, though goblins surrounded him at every turn. But then an idea struck him. Goblins were short. If he could just get to a higher place, maybe he could escape from above. Something unexpected then caught his attention. In the distance, he spotted a figure soaring through the sky, its immense form casting a long shadow over the land. Fear surged through Loder as he realized what he was seeing. It was a wyvern, and panic took hold as he imagined being consumed by its dragon fire. His terrified cries echoed through the area, drawing the attention of the goblins, who readied themselves for an impending threat. The goblins braced for a fight, confused as to why a dragon was there. Lia noticed something unusual. Someone was riding the dragon. The wyvern descended, landing with a powerful thud as Lin Tian stepped down from the creature. His return was met with shouts of excitement from the goblins, who rushed forward to greet their leader. Lin Tian casually petted the wyvern, instructing it to rest and not wander too far. The goblins, overcome with admiration for him, celebrated his return, chanting their praises. Meanwhile, Loder watched in disbelief, struggling to comprehend the scene before him. He questioned how this strange figure, who seemed to command both goblins and wyverns, could possibly be a mere goblin himself. His hopes for rescue grew dimmer as he silently pleaded for the Knight Order to save him. Elsewhere, in Bright Town Square, the Royal Knight Order marched through the streets in disciplined formation. They reached Alice, the Sword Saintess, who immediately urged them to forego any formalities, as time was running short. The urgency of their mission weighed heavily on her, and she pressed them to swiftly prepare the rescue plan without delay. Back at Lin Tian's camp, the system he relied on for guidance activated, launching a simulation that outlined his current progress. The system informed him of his successful ambushes on Bright Town and the Bloodfang tribe, highlighting the remarkable results he had achieved. His leadership over Goblin Yu and Afreya had led them to grind levels in the Enchanted Forest, all in preparation to counter the Sword Saintess and the human royal family. The system projected that after 1 month, Lin Tian would reach level 50, Goblin Yu would advance to level 60, and Afreya would climb to level 45. Presented with 3 choices, Lin Tian contemplated his next move. The first option was to continue grinding monsters in the forest, though it offered little in terms of progress. The second option suggested capturing prisoners and cultivating more goblins, promising more potential but still requiring significant effort. The third option, however, proposed skipping the entire month and fast-tracking their leveling process. The appearance of this third option hinted that there would be no ambush from the Sword Saintess during this time, making it a safer, quicker choice. Lin Tian, after weighing his options, decided to accelerate the process and selected the third choice. Time seemed to warp as the system initiated the fast-forward, summarizing that the forest no longer provided sufficient experience. The month flew by in an instant. When Lin Tian emerged from the time skip, he felt a strange sense of disorientation, as if his body had not quite adjusted to the rapid passage of time. He checked his stats and saw that his attributes had increased, though he noted with some dissatisfaction that his overall strength had not grown as much as he had hoped. Just as he began to reflect on the situation, Yu came running towards him, her voice filled with urgency. She informed him that many of the newborn goblins had been stillborn, a revelation that shocked him. Lin Tian immediately rushed to the scene with Yu, finding the elves with the lifeless infants in their hands. Lin Tian's mind raced as he tried to understand what had gone wrong. He questioned whether something had been overlooked or if this was simply an unfortunate accident. Of all the offspring, only 3 survived, and even they appeared weak and frail. Just then, Loder's laughter broke through the tense silence. He mocked Lin Tian and his goblins, claiming that they had been foolish to think they could breed strong offspring. His words hinted at a deeper truth, one that Lin Tian had not yet considered. Loder explained that the higher a goblin's rank, the harder it became for their offspring to survive. He taunted Lin Tian, suggesting that his ambitions to rule through reproduction were doomed from the start. Lin Tian, though angered, understood now what had gone wrong. Rather than reacting in fury, he turned to the goblin berserker nearby and handed Loader over to him, instructing him not to kill Loader but to use him for his own purposes. As Loader screamed defiant threats, Lin Tian's thoughts shifted. He realized that it was too late to nurture new hero species, but they needed a large number of strong goblins if they were to stand a chance against the Sword Saintess and her forces. He wondered if there was a way to upgrade the goblins quickly, as time was running out. Lin Tian's thoughts were abruptly interrupted as he noticed the Wyvern behaving strangely. The creature, usually composed and fierce in its dragon form, began to shift before his eyes. He watched in astonishment as the Wyvern slowly morphed, its scales receding and limbs reshaping, until it stood before him in a humanoid form. His eyes widened in disbelief as the transformation completed. Confusion and curiosity mixed in his mind as he tried to make sense of what was happening. It wasn't just the transformation that caught him off guard, but the sudden change in demeanor. The Wyvern, now appearing as a female demi-human, approached him with a distinct and unmistakable intent. He quickly tried to piece it together. A female dragon, in heat, transforming into a demi-human? This was no ordinary event. His mind raced through the possibilities. Could this be a special case? His thoughts flashed back to the Dragon Mother, wondering if this was some deliberate plan left for him. A convenience, as she had put it. Before he could react further, the transformed Wyvern closed the distance between them. With a sudden, swift movement, she lunged at him, knocking him to the ground. Lin Tian found himself pinned beneath her, the weight of her presence pressing down on him. Her eyes, filled with a fierce intensity, locked onto his. There was no mistaking the intent behind her gaze. Later, the familiar chime of the system echoed in Lin Tian's mind, signaling a new update. A notification appeared before him, the words clear and unmistakable. New achievement unlocked. The system continued, congratulations on the promotion. His stats were displayed in full. HP, 1500. Strength, 520. Defense, 1200. Later, we see Lin Tian. His thoughts raced after he was finished with the dragon. It's just one dragon, but so fierce and ferocious. Is this really the dragon race? He contemplated his recent transformation, realizing he had evolved into a hero class. He recalled the promise made to him. She told me I could evolve if I swallowed her dragon blood, but she had ulterior motives. As Lin Tian pondered this, the dragon crept up behind him, glaring fiercely. He commanded it, "Finish your task before taking it out on me. Go. Give them some of your dragon blood. Then return." The dragon dashed off toward the group of goblins nearby. After receiving the dragon's blood, they gathered around a bonfire, filled with excitement. Their bodies began to evolve, transforming into more powerful beings. "Awesome! We all evolved after taking the dragon blood," one goblin exclaimed. Another added with enthusiasm, "I can still evolve even further." The rest celebrated their newfound strength, anticipating even greater power in the future. Lin Tian, now sitting beside the dragon, reflected on the situation. The legendary dragon race is indeed worthy of its name. Not only have I evolved into a hero class, but the goblins have also grown stronger. However, our overall strength is still lacking. It's time to enhance our equipment, he thought. With determination, he activated his system, opened the shop. He knew that as the leader of a hero class clan, he needed to maintain his prestige through strength. The system displayed his current credit balance, 180 points. It seemed enough to exchange for high-quality and useful equipment. His eyes fell on an intriguing weapon, the elemental crossbow. It could absorb elements like water, fire, wind, thunder, and poison, and release them as elemental arrows. It's light, attacks from afar, and can absorb elements, Lin Tian thought, impressed. He then noticed a skill in the shop, the Blade Stealer. It allowed the user to catch a weapon with their bare hands 3 times, at a credit cost of 80. This one's cheaper, but it's rule-based. It could target the Sword Saintess and might even save my life in a worst-case scenario, he considered. Deciding on these 2, he made the exchange. The system confirmed the success of his purchase, adding the items to his inventory. Lin Tian, now equipped with the elemental crossbow, mused about its potential. I wonder how useful this high-class weapon really is. I need to test it, he thought, his eyes scanning the area for a target. His gaze landed on Loader. Right, Loader. You're a great option, Lin Tian remarked. Loader, realizing what was about to happen, panicked. What are you going to do? He cried out, but it was too late. Loader became the first to experience just how powerful Lin Tian had become with his new weapon and skills.